Welcome to the other end of my studio. Normally I'm sitting down there, but we are working on a sewing project today, so I'm shifted over. However, much like my hair, this table is a mess. So I'm gonna get this cleaned off and then I'm gonna tell you what we're working on. Clean and ready for crafts. Okay, so recently I've seen this video of a woman making a duck crossbody bag, and A, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen, and B, I want one. But I like ducks, but the water bird I like more is loons. So I want to make something similar, but make it a loon. So yesterday I went to the thrift store and bought a crossbody bag. Mostly I was looking for something with a strap that I could use because we don't really have anywhere that I could get this kind of material or like buckles or anything anymore. R.I.P. Joann's. So I was looking for just something I could use as a strap, but then I found this, which is perfect to just kind of build off of. So I think the working plan now is to make something that just kind of goes over this and then like sew it on kind of like right on top of the zipper so that this then just sits inside a loon. The biggest issue I was running into last night when I was prepping is loons are black and white and have such an interesting pattern on their feathers, and I was like, how do you recreate this pattern? And so I have some ideas. We might do a little bit of testing today to see if we can get something that looks like it, or backup idea is using a black patterned fabric. And so I have this one that I think I have some scraps of it from other projects, but I think I would have enough to do a little wing and the neck where the pattern is on it if my other idea doesn't work out. And then because they are black and white birds, I was trying to find a white, and I have a lot of white fabrics, but the problem is that they're boring. White fabric, shockingly, not very interesting. And then loons, my favorite part about them, their eyes are red. So I was thinking of doing tufted buttons with this velvety fabric. I was really hoping I had just somewhere in the stores of my house like a black velvet fabric, because I would love that for the head because they have a very velveteen type head, but I could not find that. So we have just some general black, and then I do have this kind of interesting fabric. It's got a nice little floral motif on it that could be something, it could be nothing. But that's here as an option. But I think first what I'm going to do is of this black fabric yesterday, I cut up some strips, and I'm going to cut up some strips of white and try to like piece these together to look like that spotted texture. And if that doesn't work, we'll just go full send with this. I had another piece of this and I don't know where it is. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, sewing machine is out. Right now I'm cutting up some binding to do the test of the pattern. I genuinely don't know if this is going to work, but the idea is to get some black strips, some white strips, and just kind of checker them together. Also, if I didn't mention this, I want this to be a one-day project. If it takes me more than one day, I will be very unhappy. But the goal one little day, working on a fun project, and then we get a bag. This isn't plugged in. Is that plugged in? Okay. Ooh. We're going to do a very small seam allowance because these are only about 1 inch wide. And I'm not changing my thread because I just cannot be bothered to do that. It should be fine. Okay. I should have a pair of scissors over here, shouldn't I? I'm thinking. Cut these into, I guess, 1 inch sections. Oh, I got this cutting board when Joann's was going out of business. It is nice. I'm going to iron these in pairs, and then I'm going to then I'm going to sew a black layer between them, and then I think we'll know if this is something or not. And I definitely need to iron it before I sew the black layer between it, which is unfortunate. Okay, so the truly unfortunate thing is that I actually do think this is going to look really cute and going to work as a wing, so I'm just going to commit to it, and I'm going to need some more of the black strips. I'm going to cut those out. So I'm going to get this stitched together, and then, really out of order of events of how this should be done, I'm going to make a pattern for the wing size so that I can cut this out and figure out if I need more of these little strips, but I think I should be good. I really was hoping to incorporate this somehow, but maybe I could make a binding out of it and bind the wings in it. I don't know if that's going to be too much. And I might need to make more of this for the neck. So we might not be done with this anyways. Okay, we have the world's smallest quilt. And I didn't really explain what I was doing while I was doing it, so I'll just go over that right now. I cut 2 strips of my black fabric, 2 strips of my white fabric, each 1 inch wide. I sewed the black strip to the white strip. Then I sewed our 2 now black and white strips together also, so that it was black, white, black, white. And then I cut those into 1 inch sections that look like this, and then I sewed those together, white to black, to create a set of 8. And then I sewed those to a solid strip of black, and then I alternated black and white on each side so that they were misaligned. So you can kind of see it's more of a checkered pattern. And then I cut out a template. It's a big wing, but I think I want kind of like a big chunky wing, especially since most of the bird is white. This will add some interest, but because I cut out little feathers, I don't think I'm going to bind it. What I think I'm going to do is I have this other fabric that's just kind of like a fun, spooky vibes. So I'll cut out the wing, I'll cut out that, and then I'll sandwich them together and just do like flip it inside out. One of the things I liked about the duck that I saw was that she did a fair amount of like quilting into it. So I do have some leftover batting from a project. So I think I'm going to quilt in some lines before I attach the lining to it and flip it. I am trying to get a bit of a slant in here. A person who plans better would have made it a little wider, but I'm not that person. So I think we're gonna just go with this. I guess this pattern has seam allowance in it because I don't have a ton of extra space. I'll cut it just a hair wider. All right, let's see how this looks. Ayo, that's kind of a vibe. All right, I'm going to use this to cut out this one so that they match. I think it should be going that way. A smart person would pin these together. All right. We have our 2 pieces. Now the batting. I think I'm gonna quilt it and then cut away the batting. I think I'm just gonna do 1 layer. You never know when you're gonna need the tiniest amount of quilt batting. Okay, so I am changing the top thread now to red. I'm not gonna bother with the bobbin. But I think I want the accents to be red because the eye on this little guy is gonna be red, so gotta have some of that throughout. We'll see how the machine does with the batting, just loose like this. I might have to put a layer of fabric under it and just quilt it to that if this doesn't want to behave, but we'll see how it goes. Doesn't seem to hate it. Oh, that's hella tight. Okay. It looks good. I'm gonna finish this up and we'll get back to you. Okay, this is, oh, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's hella cool. You'll just have to trust me on it. I kind of followed the wing. Oh, you can see it better further back. I followed kind of the wings and just did a little wing. So now I'm going to sew this and this right sides together, leaving a little gap so I can then flip it outside out. Tell me that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen. And I'm gonna leave this open for now because I'm planning on just top stitching it to the body, which I think is going to be our next point of attack. Just to get it out of the way and so we can start attaching things onto it. That looks so funny because we have body, head, legs, wing done. Wing took about an hour, so if everything takes an hour, we'll be done by 3. But I think I'm being optimistic. Okay, I lied. I did the legs. I just kind of free-handed a template. I'm gonna stitch in here for the little toes before I stuff it for its webbing, which unfortunately means I think I need to change the bobbin thread, get rid of the purple, and I think I'm gonna keep it red, and hopefully I have extra bobbins. I do. Big win. Okay. We're gonna do these little feetsies. Should I draw on where I want them to go? Probably. All right, my little feetsies are made. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff them now. This is not gonna be easy. Oh, the feet look hilarious. Okay, I'll get these stuffed. and then I will show you. All right, so I did not work on the body next. I actually made our head and our feet. Very cute. So now that all of the extremities are done, we can work on the torso because there's nothing left. But I had the realization that I am gonna need a pattern for this. So what we're gonna do is, I got a roll of paper. I'm gonna lay this out, put this on top of it, make some pattern pieces. I think I have an idea of how I want the fabric to sit and what fabric I want to use. So we're gonna make pattern pieces and then just kind of go from there because there's really not a lot left. I can procrastinate. Big rip. Oh, welcome to the floor. Okay, I think if I just kind of trace it as is, that'll leave us with enough seam allowance on the sides to do what we need with it. The good part is it really doesn't need to be exact because we're basically creating a bag for a bag to go into. Okay, I think we have it figured out. So, we have this piece. This will be kind of the base of it. I'm going to cut out a dark piece of either this black fabric or this kind of patterned one for the body. This will be in whatever the white is. We have the tabs, which will be in the black. And for our white, I've decided to use this like waffle texture material because I think it'll look nice. But because the bag is orange, that's fairly transparent, I am going to do a lining. So the lining will be cut in just the sides and the bottom. And then we're just gonna, I think, wing the general construction of this like the rest of it has been. Okay, I think I have all my pieces cut out. Because both this fabric and the lining fabric are fairly loosely weaved, I am going to serge these together, which means I need to get the serger out. This is the thing I always forget, to raise that up. So. Ugh. Okay. I don't use this very often, if that's not obvious. Let's hope I remember how to serge. Okay. No time like the present. Okay, I think I remember most of what I need to remember about serging, although I might go back and fix this part because I got none of the bottom layer. Okay, the pieces are all serged together. I don't think I'm gonna need this anymore. So I'm gonna put it away. Okay, I think the next logical step is to get the sides patched on. I am planning on just kind of like patchworking this, so using a zigzag stitch to stitch this down. I think it'll look cute. I'm going to use the red, so just add a little bit of visual interest. I broke a needle, but fret not, we have recovered. And I got a new foot on because I broke a needle because I had the wrong foot on, which we love to see. I don't hate it. My temptation is to go not as small of a stitch on the front, but I don't know if I'd like that anymore. All right, I think the play is just to not overthink it. I'm gonna do the same thing to the front that I just did to the back. Okay, I got the underside stitch onto the back, and I'm now kind of fiddling with the front piece to see where the little feetsies are gonna go, and it's like really setting in how like hilarious this is gonna be. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Okay, I do not yet quite understand how these little tabs are going to connect in. Looking at this bag, they probably should have been sewn on with the lining. I broke another sewing needle. We are down to one. But I think this is looking nice. I just need to continue the stitching here, do it to the other side, and then I think this part is ready to attach to the bag if we don't break any more needles. I'm at the point now where if I don't connect the wing by machine now, then I have to connect it by hand. And part of me thinks it would just be really cute to zigzag stitch it on just at the top. And unfortunately, I think that part of me is going to win on this. I feel like it does need to be tighter. I'm gonna undo this and do a smaller, I guess I'll do the same tiny stitches that I did for the other thing. Okay, we're calling that good enough. Is it great? No, it's good enough. We just called it that, so it must be. So the next thing I think is to make this happen. I need to think, and then I need to do. Okay, I've been playing around with this some, pinning it, and I'm coming to the realization that it might make the most sense to hand sew it on. So I think what I'm going to do is unpin all of this, do a lap folding over the raw edges so that all of those are tucked away, and then repin it and just like whip stitch it down. So we will get rid of all of these fun bit. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Repin it all again because I don't have foresight. The thing about owning a sewing machine and being able to do whatever you want is that there aren't instructions to do whatever you want. You really do just have to be winging it sometimes. Oh my god, I almost so freaking. Can you find somewhere else to sit? This man. Just decided right here was the spot he wanted to be. Oh my god, he's such a silly looking goober. This is like the epitome of good news, bad news, but I am going to have to hand stitch this to finish, to attach it, but I figured out how to do the ends that doesn't require any hand stitching. So it is 3:30 now. I should be able to get this all stitched before 4:30. Shouldn't take more than an hour. So I'm going to get something pulled up on the TV and then just knock this out. I believe in me. I can do it. Insert positive affirmation here. We are literally minutes away from this being finished. You may notice that it is a new day. The hand stitching took me a little longer than I was expecting, but not significantly. And then I did already cap this end with the little tail, which means we just have the head to attach. So what I did here was basically this was laying inside out on the strap, and then I stitched it around all of the edges and flipped it back. Or sorry, 3 of the 4 edges, I guess, and flipped it back. I'd already hemmed the bottom, and so I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but with the head stuck in. So it's basically going to look like that in the end, but probably a little further down. Now's the difficult thing of like making sure you do everything right. Because I think the head's just gonna have to be like stuck here, and then this goes up, and then we stitch all around. But that means we have to make sure we hit the neck. Okay, I believe in us. I believe in us. We did it. Is it great? No. Is it done? Yes. And I just put a little safety pin so his head stays up. This is how we're looking. He just needs an eyeball, so we'll give him an eyeball. No more sewing, unless you, I guess, have to sew the eyeball on. But so I'm gonna cut out a little circle. I'm gonna just use this. I'm gonna use this little button and wrap the fabric around it. Okay. All right, my plan is just to sew a circle around the outside of this, put the button in, pull it tight, tie it, and then probably the same piece of thread, just put her on. Part of me thinks if I just attempt to sew this through the holes, it'll look cute. Oh wait, this actually has the potential to be really cute. Ow. Good enough. Ah? All right. We're done, boys. Ignore all of the threads everywhere. Ba, 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 ba. I guess I should stand up and show this to you. All right, here is the final bag in all of her glory. I did have a moment the other day where I was like, this kind of looks like a goose, but goose or loon, still cute. I turned off the camera and realized I never did any sort of outro. So thank you for watching. I hope you're a lunatic about this project. And now that it's the fall, hopefully I'll be uploading more regularly again, get back in a habit. And I think I might do like a studio tour in the next video, just to give you a look at the space that I've been working in and clean it up some. There is another video that I've already recorded, but it had a lot of clips and I didn't want to edit it, so we'll see if that editing happens before or after the studio tour. Probably not. Yeah. Bye.